Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into the shadowy corridors of history to uncover some of the most shocking political scandals that ever rocked the ancient world. Forget your modern-day headlines. These tales are packed with poison, plots, and betrayals so intense they make fiction look tame. We're talking about power plays that reshaped nations, brought down empires, and forever etched their players into the annals of infamy. First up, let's rewind to ancient Rome and the infamous Catiline conspiracy. Imagine Rome in 63 BCE, a bustling, ambitious republic. A nobleman named Lucius Sergius Catilina, feeling passed over, decided the only way to get ahead was to tear it all down. His plot to overthrow the state was bold, dangerous, and thankfully exposed by none other than Cicero. This wasn't just a political squabble, it was a crisis that put the very foundation of the Republic to the test. Talk about high stakes. Then we have arguably the most famous assassination in history. Julius Caesar in 44 BCE. Et tu, Brute? That line echoes through time for a reason. A coalition of senators, fearing his ambition, publicly stabbed him on the Ides of March. This wasn't just a murder. It was a brutal act of betrayal by his closest allies that ignited a devastating civil war, forever changing the course of Roman history. What a way to go, right? Fast forward a bit to the era of Emperor Nero, and we find the chilling Pisonian conspiracy. This was a widespread plot involving many Roman aristocrats who just couldn't stand Nero anymore. But when it was discovered, oh, the brutal reprisals. Nero used it as an excuse to purge anyone he even slightly suspected, sending shockwaves of fear and paranoia through the entire Roman elite. You definitely didn't want to be on Nero's bad side. Leaving Rome for a moment, let's jump to 17th century France and the notorious Affair of the Poisons, under King Louis XIV. This wasn't just palace gossip. It was a full-blown scandal involving poisoners, occultists, and accusations of murder right in the Sun King's court. It exposed a truly dark undercurrent to the glittering palace life, showing that even in the most opulent settings, human ambition and malice can thrive in the shadows. Back to Italy, but centuries earlier in Renaissance Florence, we encounter the bloody Pazzi conspiracy of 1478. The Pazzi family, rivals to the powerful Medici, decided to try and topple them during Mass. Yes, during Mass. The violence that erupted was horrifying, forever altering Florentine politics and solidifying the Medici's grip on power despite the Pazzi's desperate attempt. Imagine the shock of worshippers witnessing that. Across the Channel to England in 1605, we have the iconic Gunpowder Plot. This Catholic-led plan was simple but terrifying: blow up Parliament and kill King James I. It was foiled, of course, and the name Guy Fawkes became synonymous with treason. Every bonfire night, we're reminded of this explosive plot that almost changed the course of British history. Speaking of England, let's talk about the dramatic fall of Anne Boleyn in 1536. Henry VIII's quest for a male heir was relentless. Anne, once the queen, found herself accused of adultery and treason in a politically charged trial. Her swift downfall cleared the way for Henry's next marriage, but the whispers of injustice and manipulation have never really faded. A stark reminder of how precarious power could be. Now for a more modern yet equally sensational historical scandal: the murder of Rasputin in 1916. This story is wild. Failed poison attempts, multiple gunshots, a drowning, a group of nobles, fearful of his bizarre influence over the Romanovs, orchestrated a truly sensational and almost unbelievable political killing. His death is still shrouded in mystery, adding to his legendary, almost mythical status. Another English plot involving a queen, the Babington Plot, and its connection to Mary, Queen of Scots, from 1586-1587. Mary, imprisoned for years, was caught corresponding in coded messages with conspirators planning to assassinate Elizabeth I. This secret correspondence led to Mary's conviction for treason and her eventual execution, a move that dramatically shifted English-Scottish politics. No wonder they say loose lips sink ships, or in this case, lost letters. Moving back to Renaissance Italy, the very name Borgia became synonymous with scandal. The Borgia reputation, particularly in the late 15th and early 16th centuries, was built on allegations of poisonings, corruption, and ruthless political manipulation. This family became the archetype of Machiavellian power plays amidst the intricate and dangerous politics of Renaissance Italy. Talk about a family legacy. Let's revisit the decadent court of Nero. Beyond the Pisonian plot, Nero's reign was a constant swirl of suspicious deaths and palace intrigue. Rivals, potential heirs, even family members, they all seemed to vanish under shadowy circumstances. This wasn't just bad luck. It was a clear pattern of a paranoid emperor consolidating power through fear and elimination. Cross over to Scotland in 1567, and we find the mysterious murder of Lord Darnley, Mary, Queen of Scots' husband. His suspicious death fueled rumors of political conspiracy against Mary, and it's widely believed that this event accelerated her eventual downfall. Sometimes a single death can unravel an entire reign. Now, a tragedy born of intellectual and religious strife, the killing of Hypatia in Alexandria in 415 CE. Hypatia was a brilliant philosopher and teacher, but her murder amid intense civic and religious tensions became a devastating symbol of cultural and political strife, silencing a voice of reason and knowledge in a time of growing extremism. A truly sad chapter in history. From the grand palaces of Europe, we journey to the Ottoman Empire, where Ottoman palace intrigues, particularly those involving figures like Kusum Sultan, were legendary. The harem was not just a place of luxury, it was an arena of fierce power struggles. Powerful royal women and court factions constantly schemed to influence succession, often surviving multiple deadly plots before meeting their own violent ends. Game of Thrones has nothing on this. After Caesar's death, Rome descended into the brutal rivalry of Antony versus Octavian. The power vacuum led to intense struggles, secret deals, and devastating political purges. It was a vicious fight for supremacy that ultimately resulted in the decisive rise of Octavian, who would become Augustus, Rome's first emperor. The stakes couldn't have been higher. Perhaps one of the most bizarre scandals in history is the A Cadaver Synod Mai in 897 CE. Imagine this: a deceased pope was exhumed and put on trial. This grotesque political move was an extreme example of using legal theater for revenge and political manipulation. The sheer audacity and macabre nature of it are still shocking today. Back to European monarchies, the assassination of Gustav III of Sweden in 1792 was a shocking event. The king was shot at a masked ball, a dramatic and politically motivated assassination that sent ripples across Europe and profoundly altered Swedish governance. Even masked balls weren't safe from political turmoil. In ancient China, during the Three Kingdoms period, we see Sima Yi's coup in 249 CE. This was a swift, decisive palace coup that seized control of the court, setting the stage for a monumental dynastic transition in China. It shows how quickly power could change hands in a highly centralized state. And finally, let's talk about the brutal realities of Byzantine palace murders and blinding. Byzantine politics was famously ruthless. Blinding, exile, and assassination were common tools used to remove rivals and consolidate power. The imperial court was a truly dangerous arena, where aspiring emperors literally risked their eyes and their lives for the throne. These scandals, from ancient Rome to Ottoman palaces, remind us that power struggles, betrayal, and dark ambition are timeless aspects of human nature. They might be centuries old, but the drama and the lessons they offer are as relevant today as ever. It's a fascinating look into the darker side of history, isn't it? Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey through ancient political scandals. If you found these tales as captivating as I did, please hit that like button, share this video with a fellow history buff, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into the past. Your support means the world. Until next time, keep exploring history.